At the time of Jesus, there were a variety of religious groups, just like there are today. And each religious group believed in some specifics and not in others. While the larger majority of the people at the time of Jesus did have some belief in the resurrection without any clarity, there was a group named the Sadducees who did not believe in the resurrection. And they did not believe in the resurrection because they accepted only the first 5 books called the Torah or the Law or the Pentateuch: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And their argument was that in these books there is nothing about the resurrection, and if this is the law given to us by Moses, if this is what God has communicated to us through the prophet Moses, and there is no resurrection there, then we cannot believe, and there is no resurrection. In order to show how belief in the resurrection is absurd, is illogical, they come to Jesus with a case. At the time of Jesus, when a man married a woman and the man died leaving the woman childless, his brother, the man's brother, had an obligation to take the widow as his wife. He had no choice. If he did not take her as his wife, he would be condemned by the whole village and asked to leave the village. And so therefore, they bring to Jesus an example of a woman who was married to a man who died, leaving her childless. That man had 6 other brothers, and according to what they tell Jesus, all 6 married the woman and died before the woman and died without any children. And to show the absurdity of the resurrection, they ask, in the resurrection, if there is a resurrection, whose wife will this woman be? Because she was married to all 7. And Jesus responds to them on 2 levels. The first level is he indicates to them that life in the kingdom, that the resurrected life is a different kind of life than we have now. We notice that we plant seeds into the ground. Whether a mustard seed, whether a mango seed, or whether any other seed is planted into the ground. Once the ground is fertilized, once it rains, once we tend to that seed, it grows. And what it grows into is quite different from the seed. So though Jesus doesn't speak about the seed here, he tells them that this is exactly what happens in the resurrection. What we have now are seeds. And in the resurrection, there will be that tree, there will be that newness. And in that newness, there will be no getting married or being given in marriage. And so the question about marriage does not arise at all. And then secondly, he goes even deeper because they believed only in the Torah. He quotes from the book of Exodus. The book of Exodus was part of the Torah. And it is in the book of Exodus that when Moses goes to God, he sees the burning bush. And the burning bush is the presence of God. It is from the burning bush that God tells Moses that he is the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. God would not say that he is the God of Abraham if they were not alive. So by God stating that he continues to be the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, Jesus shows through the book which they believe in that there is the resurrection. Whether the Sadducees were convinced or not is another matter. What is important is for each one of us to realize that this resurrected body that we will be given by the Lord in the new life that all of us are called to is a body that we must take care of now. We focus, unlike the Sadducees, not on what is going to happen in the resurrection or whether it will happen. We focus on the now, because the now will determine the later, and the present will determine the future. If the Lord were to call you to himself at this moment, would you be ready? If yes, why? If no, why not? And if no, what will you do about it now?